the last game, the third quarter took basically forever when it comes to the fouling. How do you look to solve the fouling come playoff time tonight?
Yeah, we've played New York. Uh, Last game we did a good job of keeping them off the free throw line. I think that's going to be important. The next couple games, just defending without fouling. Obviously, the other day in Connecticut, we were a step slow and put them to the line. Believe 34 times, and that's too many.
Hey, Coach, you talked about some of the hoop and the hollering your team's experience in the past, watching other teams play. The Vegas comes Chicago tonight. That game might determine your playoff fate. How much will you guys be paying attention to that game going on at the same time?
Yeah, I think we've got a pretty good understanding what our fate is. Obviously, we've been paying attention to it. The last couple weeks. Obviously, the loss in Connecticut the other day kind of made it a little bit more clear. So yeah, I mean, we've got stuff to focus on here tonight, but we're watching the New York game right now, and I'm sure we'll be watching the Vegas game later too.
The Liberty said that they're already game planning for you guys in the first round. Have you guys begun game planning for New York?
Maybe.
Like when you look at where your offense is going into this second to last game before playoffs, what is like maybe a last step or a last bit of things that you want to look to kind of turn the corner with your team?
Yeah, I think just continuing to focus on playing to the second side. I like where our offense is. I think we can still get a little bit better. Some of that is just the trust. And I do think we have trust. It's more trust, just play to the second side, third side, the play after the play, just continuing to move the ball. Because when we move it, good things do happen.
Mention offense, I'll ask about defense when it comes to kind of cleaning up any last second things going into the postseason. Is there anything that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would just say, we've been a really good pick and roll defensive team all year. These last couple games have kind of been weird because we're playing for something, but you're kind of not. I think that New York game was like a kind of a statement game for us, as just far as like creating some separation. And the hope is to kind of get that edge the next two games. We'll see. The minutes are going to be distributed. My hope is to play everyone tonight, play some of our starters less minutes, but you could feel it today in the preparation for LA/New York a little bit, just the focus, right, and the level of intensity, and just we've got some players that have been around, and they know what this moment is about. So this is a fun time for the players and the coaches. So I would just say pick and roll defense, rebounding the basketball, and then defending without fouling.
I know you've only had one playoff series in your coaching career so far, but have either players like AT or Cobb been able to give you advice, or have you been able to give some of the rookies advice before the playoffs begin on Sunday?
Well, I've had one W playoff experience. I've had a lot in the NBA, which I think is very valuable, playing 7-game series and things like that. Obviously, I wasn't the head coach, but just like my assistants are doing right now, they're doing a lot of the work, right? I'm here talking to you guys, and they're probably watching New York. So, yeah, it's a fun time because, like, in the season, feels like you're playing every other game, and when you do a scout, you're doing it, but you're not really like it's not as in depth as the playoffs, and you almost turn into like football coaches, which is kind of fun for the coaches. It's probably not fun for the players because they hear so many numbers, and we've got every clip and every edit like broken down to the best one we could find. And so yeah, I think you just lean on experience. I feel like myself, I've been through a bunch of awesome playoff series in my career. Obviously not in the W side, but we'll lean into AT and DB and Kai and Sammy the next couple days as we start to walk through New York stuff. And hey, how do you think we should guard this? And you know, those guys are extensions of our assistant coaches already, right? They're just not doing the film work, but they're actually the ones out there guarding it. So you want their input, and that's what we'll do.
Weinstein, contributions your rookies have had to help the Mercury on this playoff push?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Nick and I were just talking about it yesterday. You know, the year that Mo has had is pretty special. And, you know, once the season's over, we'll probably look back and remind ourselves how good a year she's had. But when you're in the season, it's kind of hard, right? Because you're just thinking about the next game, the next game. When you look at the top 5 teams in the W, I don't know if there's a starting guard on any of them besides herself, right? And so the impact that she has had at both ends is pretty special. And obviously Kat, you know, she got off to a great year, and she's still making an impact with not playing as many minutes. She just does such a great job of competing in the post and helping us space the floor offensively. Those two are the two that kind of jump out to me. And then obviously we've had other rookies, Kit, Lex, that have had an impact early in the year and help us, you know, have this record that we've had.
He and De'Erica Ham here are one of the best pick and roll duos in the league.
Yep.
KP is a game time decision. However, if your defense can shut them down, is that a win as you go into this playoff push?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of got a little bit of a, you know, as we're approaching this game, obviously that talent alone puts a concern on our team, and they are a really good combination. And you know, our mentality is like, you know, is that kind of going to be like a Sabrina Stewie pick and roll, right? Those are the things that we're talking about. Can we not allow Hamby to get below us on those rolls? And then you've got KP coming off, you know, and she can shoot it kind of like Sabrina. So we've tried to talk about the connection between the two teams in the last 24 hours. And yeah, obviously LA is still playing for something. Although we're going to be playing all of our players, to me, we're still playing for something. I didn't think we were at our best the other day in Connecticut. You know, there's a standard that we need to play at, and you know, we need to continue to fight for that each and every night, even in these last 2 games.
Going into the playoffs, with, you know, Natasha Mack and Cobb, they're only 2 returning players from last season. How important have they been in kind of understanding what didn't work last year and, you know, being in this transition where you guys improved so much?
Yeah, it's been so impactful to have those 2 back. That was the cool thing about early in the year is, you know, they weren't playing and they still had a voice. And now that they are both playing and they're both playing well, I feel like it gives you confidence to speak up more. You know, super proud of our group for just being such a new group together to make the strides that we've had. You know, all these experiences are going to help us hopefully down the line. You know, hopefully in these playoffs, right? But these are experiences that we need. You know, and having Ka and Mac that have been through that a little bit with us last year, and we can lean into that is going to help us down the road. All right, thank you.